For generations, the Jedi Order have been the guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy.
Now, 3 Padawan teams must prove their strength, knowledge, and bravery to become Jedi Knights.
I'm Alex, and I'm 33.
And I'm Molly, and I'm also 33.
And we're going to be great at the Jedi Temple Challenge because we're much, much older than the other contestants.
And we're stronger, I think.
I think so.
Happy Halloween, and welcome to the weekly Q&A. Our first question for this week comes from Pablo Alvarez, who asks, if Din's armor could continue changing throughout the series, will it change color, for example?
I think so. I think we're going to see it change more in this season as well.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's just all silver?
Yeah, Beskar.
Yeah.
I consider it to be like a blank slate. And that's the idea of him. He said his armor lost its integrity. He had to start over, which I think is meant to resemble how he himself has lost his integrity, but the child is kind of giving him a clean slate. So, like, it was decorated beforehand, and it sounds like that's something that all Mandalorians do as they create their own clan and they inherit their armor. They make it their own.
I mean, it'll have to be green, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still surprised. Maybe the Mudhorn will turn into, like, the Baby Yoda signet at some time. But I do like the Mudhorn since that is something that ties them together.
Yeah.
But yes, I think that not only will he probably change its color over the course of the series, I could also see him continue to get upgrades. Like, it feels like leveling up in a video game. Like, here's your jetpack. You're good enough to do this now. And he'll probably get something else in season 2.
Christian Hardesty wants to know if Boba and Jango Fett view themselves as Mandalorians.
I don't know. I'm, like, on the fence on this. The whole revelation that it is a creed again, like it was in Legends, definitely leaves that open. And I've always kind of been... I just didn't like when Almec in the Clone Wars is like, Jango Fett's not a Mandalorian, and everyone's like, what? He always was to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I hope that if Boba Fett is in season 2, I hope that he talks about this.
I do too.
And goes into how he feels about what it is to be a Mandalorian.
Yeah, like I have always thought of Boba Fett as a Mandalorian just growing up, so that Clone Wars stuff was always kind of a left turn for me. And I feel like George was kind of adamant that they were not Mandalorians, so I don't know if they would go against that. But yeah, I hope that it is explored. And right now, I kind of want Boba and Jango to have viewed themselves as part of the creed, however they were following it.
Yeah. I think George not wanting them to be considered Mandalorian is more about, like, from Mandalore.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly reasonable for Almec to just be kind of, like, looking down his nose like, no, they're not Mandalorians.
Mr. J.D. Rice asks what the logic is behind Mandalorian Cosmetics like Baby Yoda appearing in Squadrons. That's mostly for people like me who just want it.
Oh, I immediately put him into my cockpit. I was like, sorry, Tugtar, you've had your time. Well, we're going to go with Baby Yoda for now. I think that, I do think that they had to convince Lucasfilm to, like, please let us do this. Like, they want to do stuff for the Mandalorian in the game. Most of the cosmetics make perfect sense, like the Beskar slab for the Empire, an IG droid, like, yeah, sure. The child, it just says mysterious child, the same way it says mysterious bird, like, creature for the Porg. And, like, yeah, technically maybe they shouldn't know about the child right now, but maybe who knows how long the baby's been kidnapped. And he's 50 years old, so he's been around. So someone somewhere could have been like, I saw the most adorable little thing. It had little green ears and, like, a little blanket on. And
Aww.
So someone, like, made a little carving of it.
I like that idea.
And then they have their own merch. And people are like, yeah, I want to buy that little thing and put it on my...
I mean, it's kind of the same reasoning behind the plushies that they sell at Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, it's the same basic logic. It's more just like okay, how did someone hear about this?
Mm-hmm. Luminous Being wants to know if we would care if they never made content after the Rise of Skywalker.
Well, we already know that they are going to with the holiday special, if that it counts for me.
Yeah.
Not really though. Like I don't think it would break my heart. I do want them to, but if they were like, we're gonna explore the past for a long, long time, I'd be like, all right.
Yeah. I'm not really clamoring for it right now. There's a lot of sequel trilogy characters that I really, really love and would like to see again, but I'm also fine with new stuff.
Yeah. And even if when they do go post 9, like I've said, I want it to be way in the future. I want to keep exploring, that new stuff. So I'm fine with them doing new things in the past as well, just as long as it's new right now. That's my priority, whether it's in the past or the future.
Santiago Pardo Sanchez asks if there is any foreshadowing in the name for the Nile, which means nothing in Latin.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think that it's along the lines of like nihilism. I think they probably believe in nothing. Mm-hmm. The Sith are an enemy that still have a code, and they follow that code. But the Nile, I think, are going to be an interesting new enemy for the Jedi because they're just about chaos, and like they don't think their actions have consequences. I'm guessing they just do whatever they want for their own benefit. They probably don't believe in the Force. I don't know.
Yeah, they're kind of the opposite of Mandalorians. There's like no creed there whatsoever. They kind of just live and pillage and whatever else.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because I do see some similarities with Mandalore where I think they're like conquerors and stuff, but they do still have rules.
Maybe they're like the Dothraki.
Yeah, I could see that. More of a, I think that's pretty accurate. Just running around doing whatever they want because who cares? Nothing matters. That's kind of like what nihilism is about, I think. That's it for patron questions. If you're a patron and you didn't see your question answered here, just head over to Patreon where we left you a written response. If you're not a patron, you can learn more by following the link in the description. Just $1 a month will get you access to extra Star Wars Explained content like audio commentaries for the films. And now that The Mandalorian is back, we will be taking a break from our Clone Wars commentary to talk about The Mandalorian. So we're going to do commentaries for each new episode as they come out, and episode 1 should be out very soon.
On to YouTube questions. Martin Stallard asks if the phrase "I have spoken" is said by all Ugnaughts or just Kuiil.
I'm going to go with just Kuiil, but I kind of like the idea that he says it a lot around other Ugnaughts, and they're like, stop trying to make "I have spoken" happen. It's not catching on.
Well, it's interesting because, I mean, we might find out in the upcoming Certain Point of View book.
That's true.
It might.
That's true.
That would be so funny if that phrase popped up in the Ugnaught story.
I'm reading it right now, but I haven't gotten to any Ugnaughts yet. I haven't gotten to Cloud City. So yeah, it's very possible that we could see Ugnaughts just like, hey, how's it going? I've spoken. Like that's just their greeting.
Oh, so Unnamed wants to know if we will see the Armorer again.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We have to.
They made a Black Series figure of her. She's awesome and badass, and yeah.
I was like, for sure she's about to die. She's like, I'm collecting all this Beskar armor, and like, you guys go ahead, and I'm gonna stay here. This is the way. And then all the stormtroopers come in, and I was like, okay, then it's gonna cut to down the hall, and we're gonna hear blaster fire and be like, oh man. But no, they stayed there, and we got to watch her just destroy the stormtroopers, and you're like, oh, okay, so I have to imagine she's coming back.
Yeah, maybe she ends up with the Darksaber.
That'd be dope, honestly. She can work it.
She can work it. Dutastic asks if Baby Yoda is a Mandalorian.
That's interesting. I'm going to say no for now. Like, he's part of a Mandalorian clan, as the armorer put it, but Din was also like, you want me to train this in our ways? And she was like, no, it wouldn't survive. But it is a foundling, and it's your job now to take it home. So, yeah, I think that it's kind of, the child is adopted into a clan right now, but I wouldn't say he is officially a Mandalorian.
No, I think the title of foundling would be what other Mandalorians would refer to him as. But no, I wouldn't consider him to be a Mandalorian. Maybe when he's old enough to speak and make decisions, he can adopt the title of Mandalorian if he wanted to, but...
I think that, yeah, there's room for it.
Yeah.
I think that, because we all want, and I want, by all of us, I mean Molly wants that tiny little helmet with his ears poking out.
Mm-hmm.
Molly wants him to get his own suit of armor. I think that there's room for it, but not right now. If he were to grow up, I don't see why a Yoda species couldn't.
The Golden Ticket wants to know if the Prime Jedi is still a thing or has it been forgotten?
So that was in The Last Jedi at the first temple on Ahch-To. There's like a mural on the floor. Is that where murals go? Probably a mosaic. That's the word I'm looking for. There's a mosaic on the floor representing the Prime Jedi. I don't really think that is a literal representation of a being that was like, I am the Prime Jedi. Like, I think that was probably just an artistic interpretation of like, this is what we're striving for. It's got balance, yin and yang, and
yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's not. It's the idea of what a Jedi should be and feel like completely balanced.
Yeah. And like, I wouldn't say that it's forgotten, but I also wouldn't say that it's important right now. Like, I do hope that one day we explore the origins of the Jedi like we did in Legends, but like, people put a lot of importance on that mosaic when it came out, and it was like, I mean, it's just a thing in a temple. And then, of course, the visual dictionary comes along, and that's where we learn about, oh, it's the Prime Jedi, but the visual dictionaries usually aren't building up to different like new stories. It's just trying to like fill in little gaps in knowledge, and it's like the icing on the cake, little bits of fun where we then pick it apart.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, so I don't think it's been forgotten. I just don't think that it was something that important to begin with. We just placed importance onto it.
Joe Costa didn't know asks if there is a Halloween style holiday like Life Day in Star Wars.
Yep, I had to look it up.
There is?
But yeah, there was one in like the old Ewok cartoon or comic. I don't think there's one in canon right now, but there was in Legends, and it was just called like Halloween with an apostrophe in it.
Oh, I like it.
I was actually expecting like Star Wars Galaxies did a lot of really silly stuff with holidays. The old MMO, like there was an Ewok that was basically Cupid. Actually, I think his name was Cupid, spelled like Kyoopid. Mm-hmm. So like, they've done so many things like that in Star Wars Galaxies that I was like, certainly there has to be something. And yes, there was.
So was it like dressing up and going door to door to get space candy?
There wasn't much information on it. It just looked like an Ewok holiday. For some reason, the Ewoks are getting all the holidays. But it was like an Ewok with dressed like a ghost. And that's all I really saw. That's all the time we have for questions today. If you want to leave a question for next week's video, just put it in the comments below or sign up for Patreon to join our weekly Q&A discussion and guarantee yourself a written response. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitch.
And as always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.